Good morning. I want to thank all the amazing women who showed up here to take a stand and make a statement. That statement is that we will not be defined by the narrative that the Democratic Party is creating around Republican women. I was campaigning in Litchfield when a male Democrat candidate approached me to tell me that I was being controlled by men. He went on to say that I didn't fully understand the difficulty that some women face during pregnancy and delivery. When I suggested that he not repeat that statement to another woman because they may not show as much restraint as I, he told me that he was empowering me. This is what we, as Republican women, have been up against for years. The Democratic Party has been telling us that we are less than, that we don't understand issues that impact women, and that we are traitors to our sex. We are fed up and we will not accept their assessment of us. Let me tell you who we actually are. We are women who are taking to the fields to stand up for girls in their sports, spaces, and opportunities. We are women who are defending the Second Amendment and training other women to protect themselves, their families, and their properties. We are the women standing up for education freedom for all New Hampshire's children. We are the women demanding secure borders and sanctuary cities which endanger women and children and place an enormous burden on our taxpayers. We are the women working to find real solutions to our opioid and mental health crises. We are working to make families whole again. We are the women fighting to keep pregnancy crisis centers open so all women have a safe and supportive place to go when they are at their most vulnerable. And we are the women fighting for individual liberty for all of New Hampshire citizens and protecting our live free or die way of life. Today's New Hampshire Democratic Party is on the wrong side of every one of these issues. We are the Republican women of New Hampshire. We will stand up to protect all of New Hampshire children and families and will not cower to some false description of who we are by political opponents whose only goal is to deceive New Hampshire voters so that they can gain power and replace the New Hampshire advantage with DC values. We invite all New Hampshire women, regardless of party, to join us in this fight to preserve all that makes New Hampshire the greatest state in the country. And we stand together on the issues that are important to families across the Granite State. I want to now introduce my good friend and former Representative Kimberly Rice. She was Speaker Pro Tempore, the highest ranking member of the New Hampshire House just a session ago, and she is running for office once again. Thank you.
So thank you, thanks for being here. I'm gonna talk to you about who are Republican women. Republican women are strong, independent women who embody resilience, leadership, and a firm commitment on conservative principles. We have made significant strides in American politics. Our accomplishments span various arenas, from grassroots organizing to high-level elected positions, reflecting a diverse array of voices and perspectives within the Republican Party. We champion individual responsibility, limited government, and personal freedom. We believe that success stems from hard work, integrity, and perseverance. We are trailblazers from politics to business, redefining societal expectations and removing barriers to secure the path for all women to follow. Our dedication to the values of family, faith, and community resonates deeply with our sense of patriotism and love for this great country. We support free speech, religious freedom, and the Second Amendment, while also championing fiscal conservatism, advocating for lower taxes, and promoting economic policies that foster job creation and personal wealth. Our political approach is rooted in a desire for personal accountability, ensuring that the government remains a facilitator of opportunity rather than an overreaching body. As Republican women, we are known for our strong voices and our willingness to take on challenges that demand strength and courage. We reject the victim mentality, instead embracing empowerment through action and determination. We support a free market economy, stressing the importance of entrepreneurship and innovation as drivers of growth. Our leadership style combines pragmatism with compassion, focusing on policies that uplift individuals and communities rather than expanding government dependency. In the political arena, strong Republican women are dynamic and effective. often leading initiatives that prioritize national security, border control, and law enforcement. We emphasize the importance of maintaining a robust military and ensuring that America remains a global leader in defense. We advocate for school choice and educational reform, believing that every child deserves access to quality education regardless of their socioeconomic background. And just so you know, the first thing the Democrats will do will remove that opportunity for all children. Ultimately, Republican women exemplify the balance between traditional values and modern leadership, unafraid to make difficult decisions that protect the nation's core principles while advocating for progress within the bounds of conservative ideology. Through grassroots organizing and mentorship, Republican women in New Hampshire continue to inspire future generations, ensuring that their voices are heard and contributions recognized in the ongoing pursuit of conservative principles. Our commitment to empowering others and fostering inclusive political engagement is paving the way for a more representative future in New Hampshire politics. I'm proud to be from a state where we have a long history of empowered Republican women, from Marilla Ricker, the first woman to ever run for governor in New Hampshire, to Vesta Roy, the first New Hampshire Senate president, acting governor, and governor, to Donna Sitak, the first Republican, the first Speaker of the New Hampshire House, and Kelly Ayotte, the first and only woman Attorney General in New Hampshire. That, my friends, is breaking glass ceilings. The women running today represent a cross-section of New Hampshire from Coos to Hillsborough, who are business owners, community leaders, whose stories and experiences are unique and who are running to represent you. So together, we stand as role models for future generations, showing that strength, independence, and principled leadership can go hand in hand with the deep sense of service to country and community. This is the essence of Republican women and defines who we are. Next, I'd like to introduce the Honorable Janine Nodder to speak about the importance of crisis centers in New Hampshire.
Thank you. So what are pregnancy crisis centers? They're places that offer healing, health, education, essentials like diapers and clothing, and outreach services. The New Hampshire Right to Life website states that pregnancy centers reach out to women and families facing unplanned pregnancies, offering life-affirming options and practical assistance to those in this situation. Many also offer post-abortion care. The other day, someone asked me to name some of the pregnancy centers. Well, I know off the bat, I know of CareNet, Birthright, Real Options, and St. Gianna's Place. On www.nhrlt.org, I found a listing of 20 pregnancy centers in New Hampshire. I've been hearing that centers such as these across our nations are being targeted by the left, who are ruthlessly trying to close them down. I think that we should be commending the work that they do. If you live in Belknap County, Aspire Pregnancy Center is located in Laconia. In Carroll County, there's Lighthouse Pregnancy Crisis Center in Ossipee. In Cheshire County, there's the Pregnancy Resource Center of the Monadnock region, that's in Keene. Grafton County has 3 centers, CareNet Pregnancy Center in Plymouth, Pathways Pregnancy Care Center in Littleton, and Pregnancy Center of the Upper Valley in West Lebanon. Sullivan County has the Pregnancy Center of the Upper Valley in Claremont, and Stratford County has options for women in Rochester. Hillsborough County has 6 centers, Birthright of Manchester, Real Options of Manchester, Real Options in Nashua, Our Place on Oak Street in Manchester, Our Place at St. Joseph Parish Nurse Center, and the Pennacook Pregnancy Center on Chestnut Street in Manchester. Merrimack County has CareNet Pregnancy in Concord. Rockingham County has 5 centers. Our Place in Rochester, Bethany Christian Services in Candia, Birthright of Southern New Hampshire, New Generation in Greenland, Seacoast Birthright of Portsmouth. I invite you to navigate the New Hampshire Right to Life website to find the list of these pregnancy centers. Additionally, I learned of 4 more just this morning. Care Women's Center on West Street in Concord, Haven Pregnancy Services in Plymouth, West Lebanon has a center, and then of course there's St. Gianna's Place that I mentioned earlier. These centers need support and contributions from the community. I ask you to look them up and find out what you can do to help. Thank you. Oh, it is my honor to introduce the president of the New Hampshire Federation of Republican Women, Christine Peters.
Good morning. I know we have lots of incredibly talented women who are doing great work in New Hampshire that we'll hear from, so I will be brief. But I just want to put out the idea here for everyone that the Republican Party is the real party of women. We get confused a lot because we hear that the only issue that matters is one issue that deals with a very small portion of our anatomy. But we are so much more. Women care about every issue, whether it is education or the economy or energy. And we also care about the protection of women and girls in every activity, in their sports lives and in their private spaces. The New Hampshire Federation of Republican Women took an early stand on protecting women's sports, openly supporting women athletes across the country in 2023, when our Democrat congressional representatives, Annie Kuster and Chris Pappas, disenfranchised women by voting against the House Resolution 734 in the U.S. House. Female athletes deserve every opportunity to compete safely, practice comfortably, and win fairly on an even playing field without fear of injury from biological men in women's sports. We will continue to speak up to protect female athletes and women in all private spaces. Now I'd love to introduce to you the chairwoman of the Young Republican Women, Virginia Dry.
Hello, I am Virginia Dry, and I'm the chair of the New Hampshire Young Republicans Federation. Today, we, the Republican women of New Hampshire, are here to demonstrate that we are alive and well. As the chair of the New Hampshire Young Republicans, I'm here to say that young Republican women do exist and we thrive. We are active and involved as any other group of Republicans. We have several young women running for office and running campaigns. We are here to do the hard work, the door knocking, the putting up signs, being at the transfer stations, to do the letters stuffing. And many of us have been doing it with babies on our hips. And we, as the women of the Republican Party, have taken us under their wing and taught us how to do it with grace and dignity. The Democrats may think they have all of the young people's votes, but I'm here to tell you that they do not. We are proud to join our voices today as the women of the Republican Party. I'd love to introduce a good friend of mine, Representative Katie Patternell.
Thank you, Virginia. I'm Katie Patternell, running for re-election in Carroll District 6, the towns of Wolfboro and Tuftonboro. I have never considered myself to be a feminist, and it never occurred to me that anything I wanted to do would be off limits. However, current events have caused me to rethink my views. We are watching as women are being told that their voice doesn't matter, their safety isn't a concern, and they should just sit back and be silent. They're being told that we should not protect our daughters. We cannot let this continue to happen. Today, as Republican women, we are here to stand for truth with a capital T, that men cannot be women, that real women deserve to be safe in spaces designated for women, on the playing field, public restrooms, prisons. We are here because Republican women will work to protect New Hampshire families with common sense policies that protect our borders from foreign invasion, allow families the freedom of educational options, address the mental health crisis, and to never support an income or sales tax so that families can thrive in our beautiful state. Above all, we will not be bullied into silence by ridiculous Democrat ideology that claims that men can be women and women can be men. Republican women will stand up for the natural rights of real women and their families. As a mother and grandmother, I vow to continue to defend the rights of women. Our future depends upon it. It is my honor to introduce the Republican National Committee Committeewoman, Mary Jane Beauregard.
I so appreciate the opportunity to express my concerns about some of the issues negatively impacting women here in New Hampshire as well as throughout America. I stand here not as an official Republican, but as a concerned woman. I'm calling on all New Hampshire women to unify and speak out against policies negatively affecting females in our state. It's time for women to stand up and be heard. We can't agree on everything, but I'm going to share some statistics that highlight the will of the majority of our citizens. The liberal progressives have been effective in promoting extreme policies that do not reflect the beliefs of the vast majority of Americans. I firmly believe many mainstream Democrats also disagree with the egregious extreme policies so divisive to our citizens, yet because of party loyalty, they continue to vote these progressives in. It's time we all stop standing idly by, shaking our heads at the stupidity of these policies, and with a unified voice, fight for women's rights, which are under constant attack by the progressive liberals. Nearly 70% of Americans think it's wrong to allow biological men to compete against women in sports, yet they continue to be allowed to do so. This policy has had devastating effects on our female athletes. We vehemently condemn these policies and call for all women in New Hampshire to organize and refuse to allow this travesty to continue. Kearsarge School Board has voted to allow a biological male to compete on the girls' soccer team in defiance of the law created by HB 1205. Please contact both the Attorney General and Governor's Office and ask that they take action against Kearsarge for violating state law. Wherever and whenever this issue arises, let's organize, take action, and refuse to allow it to happen. Our female athletes need and deserve our support. This does not mean that Republican women have anything against transgender males. They have a right to exist and live their lives as they see fit and not to be victimized. But they also have no right to victimize our girls. According to a New Hampshire survey, 83% of New Hampshire citizens oppose illegal immigration. Yet so far, the 17% who do support illegal immigration have been getting their way, allowing for millions of unvetted illegal immigrants to evade our country as well as our state, has raised our cost of living, caused housing shortages, strained our schools, and put our citizens in both physical and financial jeopardy, and it must stop. We need to care for and protect our own citizens in every action, not disregard and harm them. These policies have been particularly dangerous for we women. It's time we have our voices heard and demand the illegal influx be stopped. Polls have shown only 16% of our citizens support defunding the police. Yet here in New Hampshire, in Congressional District 2, candidate Maggie Goodlander has been a strong defund the police supporter. The women in New Hampshire overwhelmingly support police and would experience countless vulnerabilities such as increases in rapes and murders, without them. Let our voices be heard. Let's stand up for the safety of women here in New Hampshire and reject candidates who would seek to limit our police forces. Let's collectively reject the assault on parental rights. As mothers and fathers, we, and only we, have the best interest of our children at heart. We know our children best and know how to raise them in their best interests. Let's collectively tell politicians, hands off our kids. Let's support parents who demand their concerns be heard, rather than putting them on some kind of absurd terror watch list, as was done under the Biden-Harris administration. In closing, I'm asking for us to unite as women, demand fair play in sports, safety in our communities, and the absolute authority to raise and educate our children as we, and not some elected official, sees fit. Thank you very much.
I was remiss in not introducing myself earlier. I am Victoria Sullivan. I am a former state rep, and I'm running for New Hampshire State Senate in District 18, which is Manchester wards 5 through 9 and the town of Litchfield. So you've heard the reasons why we are gathering, and we are going to move forward in the next 12 days, the election, with everything that we have to fight for this state. We are inviting people to join us on Saturday, the 26th, to reach out to a female Republican candidate and ask them what you can do to help them get elected. We need to protect our girls in their sports spaces and opportunities. We need to protect our borders. We need to defend New Hampshire families, and we need to defend parental rights. And we need you on board to help us get elected. So October 26th, reach out to your favorite Republican woman, ask how you can help, sign wave, knock doors, make phone calls. They will accept your help, and we thank you for your time today.